Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Fruit and Vegetable Magazine, reporting to you here today from Fresno, here headquarters of the California Olive Growers Council. I'm here with the Executive Director, Todd Sanders. Good to be with you here again. Wanted to talk about how the table olive season is going here in California and some of the activities of your organization.
Yeah, for sure. So the California table olive season's going to start ramping up here probably towards the end of August, September. The olive season looks good, table olives. It's an alternate bearing crop. So in the north this year, we're going to be a little lighter than normal. And in the south, we should have a pretty good crop, and then it kind of reverses. So this year, we're looking probably around between 40 and 45,000 tons total for the state of California.
That's great. And market-wise, how has the industry been performing? You see, in a time like this, when so many crops are struggling price-wise, especially some of our high-value crops like almonds, walnuts, wine grapes, where they aren't doing so well right now, some people might be looking into, well, maybe we should invest in olives or whatever. So from that perspective, what would you say how the olive industry is performing?
So no, actually olives are a up-and-coming crop for the state of California. They're pest and disease resistant. They're drought-tolerant crop. They're perfect for this environment. They're a Mediterranean crop. And so California is really the only state that grows table olives. And so one of the things that we're trying to encourage is with all the water issues that the state of California has, and we have farmers that are removing some of the traditional crops, looking at the olive industry because they can be mechanically harvested, and they have demonstrated to show a high profit return. So there is a canner right now that is doing a Million Tree Initiative that is putting out there trying to encourage growers to switch over to mechanically harvested olives, table olives.
Oh, that's great. So is there funding, you're saying, to encourage that?
Yeah, so the canners out there are trying to encourage industry to switch over to mechanically grown olives. There is the traditional olives as well that are out there. But again, like I said, there is a value that the industry is now providing because they can be mechanically harvested, pest and disease resistant, drought tolerant. All those are checking the boxes that California needs.
And one of the industries, one of the reasons that this industry has been performing pretty well in recent years is because of some protection from anti-dumping that's going on with Europe, right? Can you tell us about that? Well, there's been a tariff in place, and it's up for review, I guess.
So the anti-dumping and countervailing duties that you're referring to is the United States filed these against Europe because of the subsidy program that Europe uses on their table olives, and it's for raw olives coming into the United States, Right now, current law in the U.S. is stating that those olives are subject to these duties, and currently that is keeping the table olive industry in the United States afloat. And the federal legislators here in the U.S. have been doing a great job supporting the olive industry. I mean, here in California, most of the congressmen here have been sending letters to the federal government stating that, hey, we need to keep these duties in place because it is leveling the playing field, is allowing the California table olive industry to be back into a competitive nature.
Yeah, that's really important for a state like California, where you mentioned California is the only state where they grow table olives, really, here in the United States. And it just so happens that California is also the most expensive state, really, to farm in. That being said, this review is up, at every 5 years for renewal.
Yeah, the sunset review just took place, and we're waiting to. Congress had just testified on that, and so we're waiting for the results of that. But we're confident that this is going to maintain because the subsidy programs that Europe is applying is directly affecting the California grower, and it has been for years. Europe has been using predatory tactics to take over the table olive industry, and it's because table olives are a major export for Europe. So California has been focused on that. The federal government in the United States has been really supportive of the California olive industry. So we're looking forward that to continue in the future.
Well, that's great. Is there anything that growers can do at this time or should do to get involved in the conversation? Should they be speaking with their legislators, to ensure that their industry is protected?
Yeah, absolutely. We would encourage all of growers to be contacting their local congressman or their federal representative and let them know, one, thank them for their continued efforts to fight for on behalf of the California olive industry, but two, encourage them to maintain that the U.S. law is a sovereign law for us, and that we don't want to be dictated by outside foreign influences telling us how we should be enforcing our laws.
Well, great. Thank you, Todd, for the update. We certainly hope that goes well for our industry here. Read more about these things in California Fruit and Vegetable Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.